today in Grimes, Iowa, in the heartland of America. We're at InstaPro International, where we're building one machine at a time and making America proud. So what about these bad boys? You know what these are? These are soybeans. But how do you actually make them into something you can actually use? Well, we're about to find out. Carl, thank you so much for having us. I freaking love InstaPro, and I would just like to hear a little bit of the story about InstaPro, how you got started here. You've been here for 42 years, is that right?
That's correct.
Wow, that's amazing. So tell me, how did you get started? It wasn't even called InstaPro back then, was it?
No. Appreciate the opportunity actually to be a part of this program and featuring Made in America. That's great for us. And the way I got started is I was a farm guy, grew up on a farm and needed an internship job. So I answered an ad in the paper, and a guy came to my home, my parents' home, interviewed me right there. And he was a guy from Triple F Feeds, and he's hiring a feed sales guy.
Yeah.
So I did that in the early 80s. But they had another division they'd worked on, Triple F did, where they invented an extruder in 1969.
Okay.
And that was always intriguing to me because it was a tool that brought value.
Right.
And so I worked for the company in the nutrition side up until about 1989. Okay. And then I came into InstaPro. And what's unique about InstaPro, really the extruder itself, it was invented as a nutritional tool to try to add value to locally grown crops.
And how does it do that?
Well, that was intriguing to me because, the farmer itself was grazing these great crops, specifically soybeans,
right?
But he was not able to feed those soybeans. He had to sell it off to somebody, and then that had to get processed and ultimately brought back to him. And the nutritional value, some of it was taken out, and cost was added to it.
Right, so this allowed the local farmers, this is a hyper-local market, basically. Like we were saying, the local guys, like your neighbors, basically, can now go add value to their feed, and that brings more value to the whole local economy.
Exactly. The whole idea was, grow it locally, process it locally, and feed it locally.
Yeah.
And that's really the premise of it. Our machines aren't huge machines, but they allow local processing.
So this may look like just a bunch of metal, machined metal. Maybe it's cool metal. Maybe you don't even know what it is. Why does it matter? Because this is the heart of the American economy. What you see right here is American jobs being created. It is allowing people to feed their families and create health. Why is health important? Because the quality of the food you put in your body is going to equate to the quality of your lifespan and your health span. When you think of the health trend in America and how your equipment fits into that, and people just buying meat in the grocery store, what does that equate to from what your business does, and how does that apply to them?
We're using the extruder to process beans that are done mechanically, not chemically.
Right.
So therefore,
big difference.
Big difference. You don't have any issues in that. So we tick a lot of boxes in that regard.
Yeah, so for people who don't understand that process, let's just go through that real quick.
Yeah.
You can extract soybean oil through hexane extraction,
yes,
which is a chemical process, and they say, oh, it all gets recycled, but you still have to refill the tank, so where'd it go?
Yeah.
So that's one way of doing it. Yours is a mechanical pressing. So basically you extrude and expand the soybean, and then you stick it through a pressing operation, which squeezes that oil out, and it's just natural oil.
Correct. Actually processing them right on farm, mechanically, you get all the nutrient benefit right there. You don't have any carcinogens, you don't have any waste products going into the atmosphere.
Right.
And so what it does is it gives a value to the customer and ultimately a value to the consumer of the meat, milk, and eggs.
Well, thank you again for making America healthy again. I appreciate it.
Thank you, Jason.
Yes. How you go from this to this? This guy behind me. What happens? It comes in as a whole soybean, it gets cracked, dropped in through the feeder. This sends it through at high temperature, high shear, high pressure. It comes out a liquid, about 300 degrees. From there, it gets cooled. So let's go check that out. So then what's the magic in this process? This is where the oil is taken out from the full fat meal. So after it comes out of the extruder, comes in here nice and piping hot, then this thing squeezes it out. And that's how you get this beautiful golden oil. You wanna see how it actually happens? Let me show you. if you look, there's compression cages, okay? And these compression cages have a screw conveyor that goes inside there, and then it has these bars. And those bars, you control the spacing with shims, and those shims control how tight of a opening that is. And then the oil gets squeezed out and it'll drip out here, and then the oil's conveyed this way, and the meal comes out the end. And for the final step of the process, this is where the magic happens when it comes to cooling the material. So you're gonna have airflow coming this way and the product going this way, and that's called a counter current cooler. So basically, you have a nice, even, dry product that comes out the back end, and then you feed that out to your animals. Tasty.
I'm Corey Dirksen. I've been here a little over 8 years.
Yeah.
I'm currently operations manager, which would be I oversee shipping, receiving, paint area, and our daily operations assembly, the machines, press, and extruders.
So you're a family man, it sounds like.
I am.
And so when you're seeing like what you do here, and you're building equipment, and you know that that's translating to making America healthy again, and that's translating to your family, how does that make you feel to be able to be walking through, you know, a grocery store and be like, man, okay, like I know that I actually took part in that?
When I think about that, I think about people buying our equipment. One, you know, it supports the whole U.S. and America. And you know, keeps my kids and my family fed and keeps me employed to support my family and my kids.
How does that translate into maybe the food that we all eat, that we're all buying?
Well, we go through a vigorous inspection process of all our machines and parts, and to ensure they're, you know, to our standards.
Yeah.
You know, we have a whole engineering department and operations team, and then also a service team. So we get 3 sets of eyes on everything. That covers 99% of the bases. And
Do your kids love eating chicken?
they do.
Do you think any of those chickens are eating your express meal that was made on your machines?
Absolutely, they are.
That's amazing. So then you can actually see that whole farm to table story, and you're participating in that. How does that make you feel whenever you know that you're actually partaking in that part of the American dream?
It's a great feeling. It's just harder to explain it to the kids how it happened.
Your company is one of those true made in America stories.
Yeah.
And so when you think of being made in America, and when you think of all the vendors you work with, the local businesses you support, the families you support, what does that mean to you? What does made in America mean to you?
Well, you know, we've long been, you know, a thought leader in our area, and we've been able to share the innovative processes with customers around the world, from this small little town here in Iowa. And so that to me is a really strong thing to be able to be proud of for everybody that's a part of the company, whether they're based here or whether they're some of our reps that are out around the world, because they say when they talk to customers, knowing that we come from Iowa, knowing that this is an American company with American know-how behind it and American support, that's a big thing. It counts a lot for our ability to win business everywhere around the world.
What does that look like as far as like the state of Iowa and just local vendors? How much of it are you sourcing locally or within your region?
Yeah, I'd say it's somewhere in that 80 to 90% of all the components that we use for either a finished piece of equipment or for the repair parts is coming from the state of Iowa.
Wow.
And that's just been relationships built up over decades. This is our facility, and we've started kind of on the end where we do shipping and receiving here.
Yeah.
And we're more of an assembler than we are a manufacturer, if that makes sense. The key processes we will do here would be we'll test, quality test. We'll paint some things in our painting booth, and then assemble, and then maybe do the electrical tests.
I see you're not skimping. You're using real plywood. You're not using OSB.
Yep. Yeah.
That's good.
Exactly. When we get the full thing assembled, right? And it's got the gearbox and the motor and all the components on the cage.
How big it is. It's big.
It's 37,000 pounds.
right, so Kanodi, your technical title is Technical Services Director, but what does that mean? What do you actually do at InstaPro, and how does that interact in the community here at InstaPro?
So I'm directly responsible for our Research and Development Center. I'm also responsible for our global service technicians and our part sales team. My job is to translate the vision of our leadership and set direction.
You are originally from Nairobi, but now, is that correct?
Yes.
Okay, and now you started with InstaPro over in Nairobi, and then you ended up coming here. So tell me a little bit about that story. That's very intriguing.
So I've been here for I moved here in 2020, February 14th, 2020 is when I arrived.
Right during COVID.
But yeah, so
Okay.
my 5 years ended this year, where you need to complete 5 years before you can apply for naturalization. So I finished the 5 years, I made the application and went through. And so on the 11th of December, I take my oath and become a fully fledged American.
Well, welcome to America. That's amazing.
Thank you
That
so
is
much. I
amazing.
appreciate
So,
that.
yeah, we're happy to have you. It's amazing. So what does Made in America mean to you? As far as, there's a brand of Made in America, there's equipment that's made in America, but you're bringing your innovation to America, and that's kind of the foundation of what built America. So tell us a little bit about that.
I had to study history and civics to really understand what it means to be an American.
Yeah.
And so I dove super deep all the way to the history of the colonialists and back with the settlers and why the settlers showed up here and all the adversity that they were up against. And that journey is just incredible. The people who've built this country and the energy in them is still there. You mostly meet it among farmers. Their determination in finding solutions despite what comes across. What it means to be American to me is the determination and the commitment to a result. Made in America to me truly means we represent what is most relevant, what is most significant, and what the community that we're operating in values the most.
Yeah.
The truth about America is you shake hands with an American, it's all money all day.
Yeah. I'll shake your hand. Yes. Thank you.
Jason, is this your first time to Narnia?
Narnia. Oh, well, I don't know about that. I've been to Des Moines before. It's a good time.